The air in Kyiv was heavy with the weight of an ongoing war, yet it remained incredibly resilient in the face of relentless aggression. It was against this backdrop that political figures gathered to mark a deeply solemn occasion. In a powerful and very public show of solidarity, a high-profile British delegation arrived to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Ukrainian people. Among them was Andy Burnham, making his very first official trip to the war-torn capital. This historic visit intentionally coincided with Ukraine's Independence Day. What is traditionally a joyous celebration of sovereignty and statehood was transformed this year into a defiant, unyielding statement of national survival. But this British visit brought much more to the table than just symbolic gestures and standard political rhetoric. In a groundbreaking move guaranteed to shift the tactical landscape of this war, Britain has chosen to share its most closely guarded secrets. The UK has officially handed over new, highly classified missile blueprints directly to the Ukrainian government. Declassified, top-tier military technology is crossing borders and going directly into Ukraine right now. The centerpiece of this extraordinary intelligence transfer is the blueprint for the devastating Storm Shadow cruise missile, a bunker-busting, long-range weapon that has already proven its immense, undeniable value on the Eastern Front. The ultimate goal of handing over these schematics is profound. Ukraine is planning to build its very own long-range missiles domestically. This master plan is specifically designed to help Kyiv drastically improve and scale up its indigenous arms production. By doing so, Ukraine can slowly reduce its reliance on dwindling foreign stockpiles and create a self-sustaining defense industry capable of striking deep behind enemy lines. The reaction from Moscow to this strategic maneuver was instantaneous, and it was explosive. The Kremlin responded to the technology transfer with furious, unprecedented threats, viewing this as a direct escalation by the West. Russian officials were quick to warn the world of a rapidly escalating conflict, heavily implying that NATO powers are crossing a dangerous and unforgivable red line. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov issued a scathing public statement, directly accusing the United Kingdom of intentionally adding fuel to a blazing fire. According to Moscow's official narrative, it is Britain that is ruining any lingering hopes for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. But the Kremlin's fury did not stop at mere diplomatic condemnations. Moscow flatly accused the UK of stepping out of the shadows and joining the Ukraine war as an active, participating combatant. In a chilling and dramatic escalation, Russia explicitly threatened UK missile factories. Moscow vowed to destroy these production sites, warning that any facilities manufacturing these advanced weapons, even those situated on British soil, could now be considered legitimate military targets in the eyes of the Russian military. This bold and terrifying declaration amounted to Vladimir Putin directly testing the resolve of Western leaders, particularly over the UK's unwavering drone and missile support. However, the British response was immediate and unflinching. Burnham publicly slammed the Russian threats, dismissing them entirely as outrageous and the desperate posturing of an aggressive state. When pressed on the Kremlin's accusations that the UK was fueling the war, the British leadership turned the mirror back on Moscow, forcefully asking the world who actually started this fire in the first place. Burnham and the rest of the UK delegation stood incredibly firm against Vladimir Putin's aggressive rhetoric. Framing the absolute severity of this moment in history, the British Prime Minister drew stark, undeniable historical parallels. The current fight for Kyiv was compared directly to the existential battle against the Nazis in World War II. This is no longer viewed as just a territorial dispute. It is a fundamental defense of democratic values. The UK government made a solemn, unshakable vow to keep the flame of European freedom alive, warning that if totalitarianism wins in Ukraine, the rest of the continent will soon find itself in grave danger. To ensure that freedom prevails, Britain's support is now expanding far beyond physical blueprints. In a glimpse into the future of warfare, the UK has signed a cutting-edge agreement to share highly sensitive battlefield data with Ukraine. This raw, real-time shared data will be utilized to train highly advanced military artificial intelligence models, granting Ukrainian forces a critical technological edge. At the same time, the UK is actively cooperating with France to help construct new, modernized assembly lines for weapons manufacturing. Furthermore, tactical restrictions have been lifted, and Ukraine has been explicitly allowed to use UK-made drones to strike their targets at their own discretion. Russia has grimly promised that this deepened involvement will exact a high price for the UK. Recognizing the imminent danger of Russian retaliation, leaders like Burnham are urgently asking allied nations to supply Ukraine with more Patriot air defense systems. The urgency is entirely justified. Satellite imagery and intelligence reports indicate that Russia is rapidly amassing more ballistic missiles, preparing for brutal, prolonged campaigns. Almost daily, Moscow systematically bombs Ukrainian civilian and energy infrastructure, desperately trying to freeze the nation and break the will of its people. Yet Ukraine does not stand alone in this darkness. A formidable, unified coalition of 34 nations firmly backs Ukraine, providing a steady stream of financial, humanitarian, and military aid. And at the absolute forefront of this coalition, completely undeterred by the threats to its factories and the furious rhetoric echoing from the Kremlin, the United Kingdom insists on supporting Kyiv all the way to victory.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.